Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So, I wanted to talk to those of us who are, and I say us because I still have those moments too. I want to talk to those of us who have found ourselves asking lately, why do I feel distant from God? And that's a question that I think we ask ourselves more often than not, because sometimes we get so busy in life that we don't even notice that we have kind of disconnected from God. And so I want to answer that question today. It's not that God has left you, it's not that he can't reach you, but it's that you have in some way disconnected from God. John 5:15 or John 15:5 says that Jesus says that I am the vine and you are the branches, and aside from me you can do nothing. So if you feel like you are feeling distant from God, you have probably in some way disconnected from the vine. Let me ask you the question. Have you been watching more TV than you have been in your word? Have you been in environments that are not conducive for your walk? Have you been talking to people that are not healthy for your life, who only speak negativity and drama, who are gossipy? Have you been feeding your spirit, or have you been taking in more of the music that you want to listen to, or those conversations you shouldn't have any business in? Have you been thinking and meditating on the word and on God, or have you been thinking about your problems? Have you been thinking about all the things that are wrong in your life? Have you been thinking about things you have no business thinking about? What you've got to understand is that you actually will disconnect yourself from God, but God will never disconnect from you. So if you're feeling distant, it's most likely because you have not been as intentional in your walk as you should be lately, because you have allowed other things to take your attention and your time away from God and your walk with God and your relationship and the Word. And I'm speaking on this because it happens to me too. There are times where I'm going through things and I hear the Holy Spirit say very clearly to me, instead of watching your favorite show tonight, maybe you should sit down with your word and just study and just read a little bit and get renewed. And what do I do sometimes? I say, I'm all right. I'll watch my show and I'll study tomorrow. And the problem is, the Holy Spirit knows when you need to be refilled. He knows when you are working on a spiritual deficit. So if he is warning you, or if he is saying, maybe you should turn that music off and maybe you should just kind of pray or be in silence for a little bit, it's because usually he is trying to sorry y'all, my coworkers just came out and I'm streaming and they're wondering what I'm doing. But usually it's just because he is trying to get you prepared for whatever is coming. And so if you have not been renewing or filling yourself up, when you come into whatever spiritual issue you have, you don't have anything to fight back with because you have been deficient. So if you feel distant from God, if you feel cut off from God, you probably are not in your word like you need to be. You might not be praying like you need to be. And you may need to check what it is that you are replacing your spiritual deficit with. Is it music? Is it TV? Is it going out? Is it wrong people? Whatever it is that you are using to fill that space, you need to get in your word. You need to reconnect with God and give him that space that you have been occupying with all these other things that have really just been distractions.